the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. So you're going to go on to Google Classroom, and basically you're going to look for the assignment where you guys upload your 3 best portrait photos from last class. Okay, and basically you guys will open this assignment up, and you will download the strongest photo that you want to use for your portrait drawing. Okay, so just make sure to take your time, find the portrait that you want to use, and if you didn't upload your photos, I see a couple you didn't upload it. Make sure you do that ASAP. Okay. All right, but yeah, just to show you a couple ways to download your photos. So I actually uploaded one of my photos onto Classroom because there's actually a proper way of downloading the photos and an improper way of downloading it. So yeah, when you're choosing your photos, so again, make sure you have a good balance of lights and darks in the photos. Okay, so you want to have some shadows on the face, okay, to help to distinguish the shape and form of your portrait. So you kind of remember the examples we looked at the previous class before, and I'm just gonna kind of scroll through this. It's just real important that you have like these nice shadows on the face. Like these darks, mid-tones, and highlights on the face, because that's going to basically help to create the shape and form of the portrait. Because obviously there's a proper way of lighting a portrait in terms of doing like a drawing on the computer, even like a traditional drawing. And then there's obviously like ways to take a photo where it's more kind of like focused on glamour. But we're kind of mostly using finding a photo where we're using it more for like drawing or creating art. Okay, so you want to find one with good lighting in the picture. So this one's pretty decent though. It's not the best, but this can work for this project though. But yeah, when you're downloading the photos though, just real important, you want to make sure to click up here. So you click on these 3 dots here and open in a new window. Okay, and then you want to click on this download button to download the photo. Okay, so make sure to download the photo this way, just because this will give you a higher res picture. So this is about like 1458 by 2592 megapixels. Okay, so this is like a pretty large photo to work with. Now it doesn't have like a major effect with the drawings that we do today though, but when we get to the value and shading part of your project, so when we do like the coloring part of it, like putting the different tones, that's going to have a big effect on how successful your drawing will be. Okay, now the one way you don't want to save your photos, because naturally this is like how you would want to save it if if you didn't know about this 3 button here. So don't drag this file on the desktop, or right click and save image as. Okay, this is actually a lower res picture. So this one that I just downloaded here, this is actually a smaller file. Okay, but if I were to zoom in on both of these pictures, okay, if I were to zoom in real closely, this one starts to get very pixelated when I get up close to it. This one here, I still retain the details of my picture. Okay, now it's not going to have a big effect on your pictures right now when we do your line drawings, but when we do the values though, it's going to have it's going to basically make or break the picture, especially like with the technique I'm going to have you guys do for the values. All right, so yeah, once you've downloaded your photo, and again, just make sure you use the proper one. I'm actually going to throw this in the trash because I don't want to use that one. You're going to click and drag this into Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so you're going to drag it on here. So some of your photos may be real big, and it's going to actually go past the distances of the artboard. Okay, so to fix that though, oops. I'm trying to move this around. Apparently I can't move it around where the title is. That's weird. I'm going to just minimize this so I can move it around a little bit more. I just want to have like a good visual of all my spaces. So you want to look for this one, this artboard tool, and you're going to click on it, and basically you can use this to drag the artboard. Okay, so I don't want you to resize the picture. I want you to just extend the artboard. But if you wanted to, you can also resize the picture this way. But don't do it that way, just because I'm afraid of you're gonna accidentally stretch and skew the picture. Okay, so just extend the artboard and just go from like edge to edge. All right, so now to begin your drawing though, it's pretty easy. You're gonna look for your layers panel, or you can go to Windows Layers to open it, and we're just gonna title this layer one your we'll call it original photo. Okay, so you're gonna title the original photo or photo. You're gonna click on this box here. This is gonna lock the layer, so this is like, now you can't really click or drag or mess it up. And then you're gonna create a new layer. Okay, on this new layer here, you're just gonna title it outline. Okay, but pretty easy though. You just make two layers: original pit photo, outline, and basically where the outline layer is, this is where you're gonna do all of your drawing. Okay, so layers work very similar to Photoshop. The only difference though is you don't have to make a layer for everything that you do. If you wanted to, you could though, just to stay more organized. But in this program though, you can kind of like you put a lot of things in like one layer if you really wanted to. Alright, but the commands still are very similar to Photoshop. Command minus, command plus, that zooms in, zooms out. And for your drawings, though, you really do want to zoom in closely. So I'm going to zoom in. So just remember, H is the hand tool, or the hand tool's right here. You want to move around in the picture. So I was zooming fairly close on the photograph. This will make it a lot easier to trace your drawing. Okay, so again, you can use the pen tool. So again, it's either P or you can click up here to get to the pencil, and then again you want to hit this flipper, so this will like flip your color. So just make sure this is crossed out, your fill, and again you can cross it. You can click on this to cross it out, and then your outline. And we're just gonna double click on the color for the outline. You can pick any color you want though, but I suggest though to go with a different color other than black, just because certain parts where you have your shadows, like like the shadows like right here, or even like parts of my hair, it's kind of hard to see like where my lines are. And so I'm gonna go with like this vibrant blue. And again, we can always change the colors later. It's not like we're kind of stuck with these colors. Okay, so yeah, basically you're just gonna trace your drawing. So just like what you did with the pencil, you can start wherever you want. But basically you're just going to trace some lines. So I'm going to trace like a line here, there, and I'm just basically drawing the outline of my portrait. Okay, so basically the way that you did your the exercise that we worked on last class, the section 4 of the exercise 1, you're going to use the same method as before. You're going to click on a point, click on the last point, and then you're going to click and drag to make a curve. Okay, I want you to use this technique for the entire portrait drawing. Okay, so click the line before, click on the last point. Always click on the last point because it's going to mess up your line. And just click and drag. Click in a little mouse button, drag, and make a line. And then when you're done with the line, just use Command Shift A to finish the line. Okay, so that's basically how you're going to do all of the lines for your portrait. Okay, as you're doing your drawing, just treat it as if it were a drawing. You don't have to draw every single detail. So, for example, the hairs on this eyebrow, I don't have to make like a individual hair for each part. So, like an easier way of doing this would be to, just do this eyebrow as an entire shape. Okay, so I'm just doing a line here. Click on the last point. Click, drag. Click on the last point. And I'm just going to go back all the way here again to do that shape for the eyebrow. Command Shift A to finish it. Okay, so you don't have to draw like every little detail. You just want to get like a general idea of the hair. And the same thing with like these hairs here. Don't have to do all these little strands. You can just do it as a basic shape. Okay, but that's like the whole foundations of like drawing is to simplify the details. Make it your own drawing. Okay, and again, we're only spending about 3 days on this, so you don't have to go like super detailed. Now, if you want to do like these little strands, you can. It doesn't hurt to do like some details though, but again, you want to like simplify the drawing. Kind of like what you've been doing in your Art 1 classes before. Naturally you have to like learn to simplify things. When you do art. Okay, but it's just the same technique though. Just click, drag, make your curve, click, drag, make your curve, and always click on the last point to continue it. Okay, because if I try to like continue the line, it's not going to work exactly like how I want it. So if you mess up again, or if you mess up, just remember you can always hit Command Z to undo the last mistake that you do. And this program is very forgiving to undo your mistakes. You can undo several steps in this program. It's probably a lot more now since since the updates that I've last used it. All right, but just take your time though. Do your drawing. Whoops, I should want to make one more curve right here. And my suggestion though is try to use as few points as you can. So I'm not using too many points though, but again, you don't want to just like do your lines like this. So avoid doing your picture like this. Okay, just like we mentioned before, the quality of the line, it doesn't look that good when you trace it that way. Okay, so make sure to use the curves. That's the one thing I'd be like nitpicky on is utilizing the curves and to work on your drawing. Okay, so I do want to show you one thing that you might run into. So like, when I go over this line here, sometimes the points may merge onto the line. I'm gonna try to see if I can do it by accident. Command Shift A. Let me see. Where would be an instance that happen? So let's just say I was working on the eye here, and I do my one line right here. I'm gonna finish this curve here. Command Shift A, and then let's just say I would click on this point here. I'm actually not running into that problem right now, but when you actually have a lot of lines overlapping one another, there may be some instances where you will accidentally click on a point on the line that may connect to this point. So like for example, this line will connect on that point. I'm not running into that problem now though, but just let me know if you have like problems with clicking on certain points and lines. Oh, okay, see like right there, like I'm running that problem right now. So I'm trying to make this line here, but it's connecting to that random point over there. Okay, so you're gonna run into that issue when you guys add more lines, especially when you add like lines on top of lines on top of lines. So to fix this problem, you're gonna hold the Shift key, and let me see. Apparently it's not working. Okay, my suggestion for this problem though is try to find like another point though where it's not like clicking on that point. Okay, so you have to be really careful about like the lines that you make. Okay, and that's how you would continue that line though. But this is like especially when you start like adding like lines upon lines upon lines that you may run into this issue. Okay, and also if you run into that issue though and you can't really fix it, just let me know. I can help you out with it. This is only when you get like super detailed with the lines that you create. And also feel free to trace the lines of the shadows, because I think that's kind of like a nice detail to add to the picture. Whoops. But as you're working though, if you want to see like your progress, you can click on this eyeball here, and this will hide the original picture that you had. Okay, but essentially though, you just gotta trace the lines though. Okay, just like what we did in your practice, now you're applying it to your project. Okay, so oops. Sometimes you can't get like that perfect curve in like one go. You might have to make a couple points to create the shape that you want. Okay, but as you're working on this though, it may seem really slow at first, but eventually you'll get to a point where it's like it'll become almost like naturally like drawing with the pencil. As it's like one of these things though. It's like practice makes perfect. Obviously you're not gonna do this as quick as like I'm doing it right now. Some of you maybe will do it that quick, but you really just need to just practice. And see, I'm having that issue now. I'm just clicking on this point here, and it's not letting me make that line. So let me try holding the Shift button. So this, in this case, holding the shift button is actually working for mine. So sometimes it may work if you hold the shift button, but you know.